Swadikap, good evening and welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Subhajon Klinswan. This first news item is especially for meat lovers out there. Despite an outbreak of mad cow disease in the U.S., the Agriculture Ministry boasts that Thailand is mad cow free as meat imports from America are temporarily banned. Meat products from the U.S., especially beef and lamb, have been banned from entering this country since Tuesday after America found an outbreak of mad cow disease. The Agriculture Ministry is confident that there is no contaminated meat in the Thai market, as the Livestock Department is always on the lookout for diseased animals, domestic and international. The Food and Drug Administration of Thailand reveals most beef consumed in Thailand is from Australia and countries which are not at risk of mad cow disease. However, figures do reveal that last year, Thai consumed 60 tons of beef imported from the U.S., worth 29 million baht. The first 3 months of this year also saw 37 tons of U.S. beef imported into Thailand. The excessive 40-degree and higher temperatures in many areas of Thailand are affecting the agricultural sector, especially rice farming and fisheries. Meanwhile, the Chiang Mai Zoo had to prepare frozen fruit to cool down some of the animals. Today, Lin Ping and the other pandas in Chiang Mai Zoo were cooled down by frozen fruit ice cream, as the scorching heat may threaten the animals' health. Meanwhile, fish farms in Kampang Phet continue losing fish to the hot water. Fish farmers could do nothing but scoop up the dead fish to prevent pollution of the water. Meanwhile, in Phu Hin Rong Kla National Park in nearby Phitsanulok province ordered all campers to go home as the amount of water available for travelers' consumption is now insufficient. Also in Phitsanulok province, firefighters are now using water to put out the ground in fires after massive amounts of methane gas ignited. Officials are also concerned that escaping sulfur dioxide gas will endanger people's health. Garbage at dump sites in Lopburi and Surin is rotting and emitting a foul smell affecting surrounding communities. There are also reports of flames erupting at some garbage sites due to gases given off by the rotting rubbish. Finally, in Kalasin province, a summer storm blew through 6 districts, partially destroying 2,000 houses and blowing down billboards. There's been yet another deadly accident on the elevated Don Mueang tollway today. Police don't yet know the precise cause of the accident, but say speed was certainly a factor. This is the only footage captured by closed-circuit cameras located close to Thai PBS headquarters on Vipavadi Rangsit Road, which shows the Porsche sports car and the Toyota Fortuner before the former collided with the latter, causing 2 deaths earlier this morning. Thaifa Chawawarapapa, managing director of the Buddy Group, who was driving the Porsche, and Major Saknipat Patummarak, who was driving the Fortuner, both died at the scene. Major Sakpat is the son of Chanchai Patummarak, a former Deputy Minister of Agriculture and a banned Thai Rak Thai politician. Police have not yet concluded if either of the drivers had been drinking, yet both cars were exceeding the 120-kilometer speed limit on the elevated tollway. The driver of a Mazda car traveling on the tollway at the same time is the only witness to the tragic incident. He was also injured and could only tell the police that the Fortuner crossed into his lane and he collided with it. The business sector indicates that Thai exports will hit negative numbers because production lines have not yet fully recovered from last year's floods. The export figures in the second half of the year pose even more of a challenge given the recent sudden increase in production costs. However, the Fiscal Policy Office remains optimistic that the Thai economy is capable of handling all risks. The export growth figure in March is the lowest in 4 months, plummeting by 6.5% when compared with the same month of last year. Phaiboon Phonsuwanna, president of the Thai National Shippers Council, reveals that in the first and second quarters of this year, production lines of most factories have still not fully recovered from last year's floods. In recent years, Thailand has been exporting more to ASEAN countries, which will then re-export to the US and Europe, where the economies remain in turmoil. At the same time, big consumers like China and India are also facing an economic downturn. Nonetheless, Paibun indicates that he is most worried about the export figures in the second half of the year due to the abrupt spike in production costs, such as labor, transportation, and electricity. Likewise, Kasikorn Research Center forecasts that the rest of 2012 Thai exports will be depressed by Europe's debt crisis, China's economic slowdown, the fluctuations in oil prices, as well as the upward adjustments in labor and energy costs domestically. Nevertheless, the center projects that export figures during the second quarter may improve due to the recovery of the industrial sector. Meanwhile, the Fiscal Policy Office is confident that the Thai economy will be able to overcome all risks given the government's economic stimulation policies to promote consumption and investment in the country. The office projects that the Thai economy will grow by 5 to 6%. Some Bangkok buses are threatening to halt all services as of mid-May because they are not satisfied with the government's 1 baht 50 stang rise in transport fares. They are demanding a 2 baht increase. Even though the Central Land Transport Committee has increased transport fares, some operators, such as the private Bangkok bus operators, remain disgruntled. Today, the Private Thai Bus Operators Association met Chatchat Sithipan, Deputy Transport Minister, to ask for a review of the committee's policy of raising the price of bus tickets, which will go into effect when the price of NGV rises to 9 baht 50 stang. The current NGV price stands at 8 baht 50 stang. Both the association and private Bangkok bus operators are demanding a 2 baht rise on May the 15th, claiming that they have to shoulder higher costs. They threaten that if the Central Land Transport Committee does not reconsider the matter, the members of the private Thai Bus Operators Association will halt all private bus services in Bangkok on May the 16th, leaving Bangkok commuters to depend only on public buses. Security officials in 3 southern border provinces have beefed up security, fearing that the unrest could escalate, as tomorrow is the 8th anniversary of the Kruse massacre in Pattani province. The authorities fear that insurgents may cause unrest tomorrow to remind the public of the 8th anniversary of the Kruse massacre, in which more than 30 people died inside one of the oldest and most revered mosques in deep south Thailand. Intelligence has been received indicating insurgents' plans for an attack sometime this week or next. Security personnel in Pattani province have set up security checkpoints on roads, increased security at government offices, in local communities, and at commercial centers in the 3 southern border provinces. Today, Deputy Prime Minister and Interior Minister Yonghyut Vichaydit met Cambodian leaders in a bid to boost border security. Here's more from Kun Hiwi Adams.
The Thai Deputy Prime Minister and Interior Minister and his Cambodian counterpart chaired the 4th meeting of governors of the Thai-Cambodian border provinces in a bid to boost security and trade in the region. A joint statement released after the meeting said subjects discussed included the commitment to manage border crossings and the promotion of cooperation to prevent illegal activities along the border areas, including militant activity and human trafficking. The meeting was also a chance to improve relations between the 2 countries.
Thailand and Cambodia people on the time at the Pheu Thai party is the ruling party of the government. We get closer and closer.
The Deputy Prime Minister also met with Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen for separate talks. Thailand will host the 5th such meeting next year. Hugh Adams, ThaiPBS.
Thank you, Kun Hugh. Police have seized the largest haul of narcotics since the government announced its new war on drugs, almost 3.5 tons of marijuana destined for the UK. Deputy Prime Minister Chalerm Yubamrung and police top brass announced the seizure of 3,444 kilograms of marijuana from a house in Saratburi province. The street value of the haul is around 51 million baht, and this is the biggest confiscation of narcotics since the government announced a new round of war on drugs. The 43-year-old man arrested at the scene claims he was hired only to pack the drugs into small boxes. The shipping destination written on the boxes was a warehouse company in Dartford in the county of Kent in the southern UK. Following yesterday's controversial meeting between the Prime Minister, her Deputy PMs, and Privy Council President Prem Tinasulanon, the Democrat Party is claiming that the government is trying to develop an image of reconciliation, while the PM insists that the visit yesterday did not serve any political purpose. After the Prime Minister avoided commenting to the press about the Rot Nam Dam Hua ceremony for General Prem yesterday, today Yingluck Shinawatra finally revealed that the meeting yesterday was aimed at seeking advice from General Prem, a former Prime Minister, on improving people's quality of life, especially for people in the Deep South. The tradition of Rot Nam Dam Hua, which is normally to seek blessings from our elders, is normally practiced during the annual Songkran holidays, which ended 2 weeks ago. Some members of the public claim that the PM could possibly use this chance to apologize on behalf of her brother, former PM Thaksin Shinawatra, but the PM denied such suggestions. Meanwhile, Democrat MP Thepthai Senpong points out that as the PM brought only 3 of her deputies to meet General Prem, the public could rightly question the unity of the cabinet. He also asked the PM to perform better as the country's leader in terms of achieving national reconciliation. In addition, Lieutenant General Udom De Sitabut, Region 1 Army Commander, sees the meeting as positive and good for the government to seek the blessing from General Prem, as he is a statesman who is respected by the Thai people. He also points out that as a former PM, General Prem is in a position to offer good advice to the government. The postponed signing of the MOU between the government and Chinese company Shenzhen Scope for the purchase of 1 million computer tablets for the first graders may finally take place next week. The one tablet per child scheme could then perhaps become a reality. Around 2 weeks before schools open after the holidays, the government's procurement contract with Shenzhen Scope Scientific Development for purchasing tablet PCs for grade 1 students, which was submitted to the Office of Attorney General for review, will be handed back to the Ministry of ICT early next week. Jirawan Bunperm, Permanent Secretary of the ICT, predicts that the signing of the MOU between the government and the Chinese concessionaire will be on May the 4th, 1 week from today. Concerning the delay in the signing of the MOU, the Permanent Secretary pointed to the need to follow official governmental procurement procedures. At present, the Procurement Committee and Shenzhen Group have both agreed on the terms of reference, and the details will be discussed following the sign of the MOU. The government had earlier approved the purchase of 1 million tablet PCs for grade 1 students at a total cost not to exceed 3 billion baht. The original plan was for 900,000 tablet PCs. The gadgets were originally set to be handed out to grade 1 students next month, but the date of distribution now remains up in the air.